Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film a Valentine's Day inspired makeup look, do something a little bit more dramatic. I feel like my last few testing new makeup videos or get ready with me's have been a little bit more subtle, kind of like everyday looks. So today I went like full on glam, and I did test out some new products, which you'll see my thoughts in a few minutes. And then I also used some older favorites as well. So kind of a mix of things. I do want to say thank you to Into You Cosmetics for sponsoring a portion of today's video. I tried the brand last year for the first time. I want to say last summer, and I just fell in love with their products. They're very effortless to use, so I feel like they're perfect for like easy everyday makeup looks or something a little bit more dramatic and glam. So I'm going to be using some of their new products in today's video. So everything that I'm using from Into You is under $20. Their products are affordable, they're really high quality. So I'm going to be using some of their new single eyeshadows. These are so gorgeous. They have mattes and like these really pretty glittery intense shadows as well. So I'll do some close-up shots so you can see the actual colors and the swatches as well. The matte shadows are so smooth, incredibly easy to blend out. Like they basically blend themselves, which I love. So they're great if you just want like a quick color in the crease or the lower lash line. And I love the glittery shades. They can be worn a couple of different ways. Like you can go in with a light hand and just get like a sheer wash of shimmer all over the lid, or you can really build them up and get like a true metallic finish. I'm also going to be using their new single cream blushes. These are gorgeous. Like this is going to be my go-to formula for the spring because it just gives your cheeks like this really pretty, healthy, dewy glow. They look so natural on the skin. They definitely have more of like a sheer to buildable formula, so they're perfect if you're someone who doesn't like anything too intense. It's a very easy to work with formula. So if you're new to cream products or you're kind of intimidated by really intense creams, this might be a great option for you. It's very, very dewy. It just gives your cheeks like the prettiest natural flush. And then I feel like the focal point of the look is obviously the bold lip. I was just feeling like a very classic red lip for Valentine's Day. So I used the Into You Espresso Lip Matte in the shade 04. This is such a gorgeous formula. I've been telling you that I'm really into matte lipstick again, but I feel like I don't want to go back to like those super dry, uncomfortable liquid matte lipsticks that just suck all of the moisture out of your lips. And honestly, they just don't look good on me. This is the type of matte lip formula I love. It is so smooth on the lips. It definitely gives your lips like a smooth, blurred, velvety, almost soft focus finish, which I love because it just looks really good, it looks really even, and it stays in place really well. It almost stains the lips, so by the end of the day, I still have all of the color in place. It looks gorgeous, and I can actually wear it all day long because it is so comfortable. Also, I like this product because you can wear it in a couple of different ways. You can just apply a little bit and blend it in with your finger, and it gives you more of like that blotted lip effect if you're going for something a little bit more natural, or kind of like a lip stain effect, or you can really layer it up like I did today to get like a true intense bold lip, which I love. I think it's so pretty. This is an absolute staple for me already. I can't wait to wear it like next holiday season because I feel like it will be perfect for that time of the year as well. But I mean, obviously you can wear red lipstick anytime, and they do have additional shades. I just used the shade 04 because I feel like it's perfect for a classic Valentine's Day look. Anyway, you'll see me apply these products in the video, but I just wanted to swatch them for you. I'm going to put a link in the description box below so you can check out Into You and head over to their website to see what they offer. They have a ton of beautiful products, and again, most of their products are under $20, so really affordable. I think you guys will love them. Let's jump into it and I'll show you how I got this look. I do want to go for a little bit more of a glam look today, so I'm going to do like a full coverage smooth foundation. Well, hopefully, because I'm testing out a new foundation and a new concealer, so we'll see how that goes. And then a bold lip, sparkly eyeshadow, eyelashes. I'm just going in with the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. This has a really nice, smooth, creamy texture. I've really been enjoying this one lately. It's a little bit newer to me, so I've been playing around with it, but I'll usually apply it to my lids and then also under my eyes to prep my eyes for concealer. I'm just going to take this softer, light shadow and just set that into place before I go in with the other shadows. So I'm just going to start with this shade. It's from Into You. It is the single shadow in 03. I love this color. I feel like it is perfect for Valentine's Day because it is a softer pink, but it's just going to add a little bit of definition to my crease. It really blends out so effortlessly. So I'm just going to kind of focus this where I would place a transition shade and then maybe build it up just a little bit in the crease. But this really blends out in seconds. It looks so smooth. So I'm going to do the other eye off camera just to save a little bit of time. For the lid, I can't decide between these two shades. So this one is 02. It's like a gorgeous charcoal silvery shade. I feel like maybe it's a little bit more dramatic than I'm thinking today, but you can go in with a light hand and kind of apply a sheer layer of these. I think I'll probably stick with this one. This one is in the shade 04. So what I like about these shimmers in particular is that you can go in and really like apply the product kind of heavily and get more of an intense base, or you can go in with a light hand and kind of like tap it all over for more of like a dispersed shimmery look. I think I'll start with a lighter hand because you can always build it up, but you can't really take it away once it's on there. So I kind of want just like a very sparkly eye, like lid all the way up to crease. I think I'm actually going to swipe this on just so I can have a little bit more of an intense metallic look all over the lid. I also think this color would be so pretty if you were doing a more dramatic look and you were to just place this like right in the center, because it just, like you can see, the reflection is so intense and so pretty. The shadow definitely has a creamy texture to it, so it looks very, very smooth. So again, let me just apply this to the other eye. Usually I'll take like whatever's left on my finger and just kind of like lightly tap it over the crease. I know a lot of people say you can't use shimmers or glitters in the crease, but you definitely can. And I think if you're doing a little bit more of a simple look, it just kind of ties everything together. I'm just going to wipe away the shimmer that I kind of blended under my eye, kind of clean that up a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with liner. I'm going to be using the Tarte Double Take Awake Eyeliner Duo. I've been loving this so much. So one side is a felt tip black liquid liner, and then the other side is like a bright, lighter nude eye pencil that I use on my waterline. I have a hard time applying eyeliner on camera because I have to hold the mirror super close to my face, so I'll try to catch some of it. But whenever I'm doing more of a full coverage, full glam look, I like to do my eyes first, then my base, because I feel like if I have to clean up eyeshadow or eyeliner, I can just do that before I go in with my base, and my base is a little bit more perfected. But if I'm doing like an easy everyday look, a lot of the times I actually skip eyeliner these days, so I'll just do my base first, then my eyes. This is the new Flower Beauty Dream Warrior Volumizing Mascara. I used this one other time, so this is my second time using it, but I loved this the first time I used it. It gave my lashes a ton of volume. It made them look really long, really thick, and it just kind of gave them like a lifted, fluttery look. So even though I am going in with lashes, I still want to apply a really good dramatic mascara because the lashes that I use are just the Ardell Demi Wispies, so they're not overly dramatic at all. I like them because you can wear them with more of a natural look and they're not over the top by any means, or you can wear them with more of a dramatic look too, and I feel like they just enhance it. I'm actually not sure the last time I applied lashes on camera. I don't wear lashes a ton these days, maybe like once every 2 weeks, usually if I am going for more of a dramatic look. Okay, lashes are on. So I am testing out a new foundation and concealer today. So I'm going to stick with a primer and a powder that I know work really well. So that way, if something isn't looking great or applying well, I know it is the foundation or the concealer. So this is the Catrice, the Mattifier Oil Control Primer. I've been using this for years. They recently updated the packaging, so it looks a little bit different. It used to come in just like a fully white tube, and I think it was called Keep Me Matte, but the actual formula is the same. So I'm just going to work this into my skin and just make sure that it's applied really evenly. This just creates a very smooth base, and it does keep my skin from getting too oily throughout the day. I like this one because it's not overly mattifying compared to some other primers out there, and my skin is not extremely oily these days, but I do tend to still get oily right in the T-zone. So I'm just going to apply this primer mainly in the T-zone and then in any other areas where I can tend to get oily. I'm so excited to try this foundation. I thought I would try it out today. It's the KVD Good Apple Full Coverage Serum Foundation. I have the shade Light 024. It looks like it might be slightly too dark for me. I don't know. It could be a good match though, because I feel like the undertone is perfect. This just sounds like my ideal foundation. They say it is a transfer-proof, extreme long-wearing foundation with a natural finish and a serum light feel. So basically it's supposed to give you full coverage but feel really light on the skin. I absolutely love the concealer from the same line, so I'm hoping it's the same case with the foundation. When I first tried that concealer, I said I hope they come out with a foundation version of this. I'm just going to swatch a little bit on the back of my hand. Okay, so it does feel very thin, really lightweight. It definitely has a matte finish. I feel like this might be slightly too dark. I don't know, it kind of looks like it might match my neck and my chest. So I'm going to test it out. We'll see. This is supposed to be lighter than their Good Apple Balm Foundation, which is a little bit more hydrating. They both are full coverage, but that one just didn't look great on my skin. I think because this one is so thin and it feels like it's going to be lighter, that it will be a good option if you like a liquid foundation. So I'm just going to apply this with my finger and then blend it in with a brush. I kind of wonder if this foundation would apply best with a sponge. I just don't typically use a sponge when I apply my foundation, but lately I've been thinking about doing that more often. A lot of the foundations I use have more of like a satin finish or a natural finish. Sometimes I'll even use a little bit of a glowy foundation, but I do think a nice matte foundation definitely comes in handy. I mean, my skin hasn't been extremely oily during the winter by any means. I feel like it's a little bit more combo, but during the summertime, it definitely gets oily. I actually think the shade match is really good though. This definitely feels very light on the skin. A lot of matte full coverage foundations are pretty heavy. So I appreciate the fact that this one does have like a lighter texture to it. It dries very quickly. So I would say you probably want to work in sections. I guess this shade might be just like one shade too dark, maybe slightly warm toned on me. So if I was to use it regularly, I might mix in a little bit of like a blue color corrector, but I do think it is applying really nicely. It definitely is a very light foundation. Okay, editing me here. I just wanted to explain because my foundation is a lot more full coverage in this clip compared to the last clip. My camera actually stopped recording when I was building up this foundation. A lighter layer definitely looks a little bit more natural on the skin. It has more of a medium coverage finish, but I wanted to build it up to see how it layered on itself. You can definitely build this up to look really intense and like a true full coverage foundation. That's probably not how I will wear it moving forward, but because I was testing it out for the first time, I just wanted to see how it layered on itself. So if you are looking for a foundation that layers well and builds up to an intense full coverage finish, then you might like this one. But I just wanted to explain because there is a pretty big difference between this clip and the last one. Okay, here's what the foundation looks like. This is a true full coverage finish. I haven't gone for such a full coverage foundation in a little while. I recently used my Fenty Pro Filter, and I feel like even that one is not quite as intense as this one. This one also has like a true matte finish. If you have dry skin, I really don't think this is going to be ideal for you. Although, like I said, I did use a smoothing matte primer today, so I kind of wonder how this would look on top of a glowy primer. I'm going to use it a couple of different ways over the next few days before I share my full thoughts on it. But I do think more of a glowy primer or like the e.l.f. Halo Glow underneath or even like the Power Grip primer might kind of change the texture of this. But I do kind of like the matte finish. It's not something I've gone for in a little while. Again, very full coverage, but I think next time I'll use it with a damp beauty sponge and see if that shears it out a little bit. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. So this one is also a long-wearing, waterproof, transfer-resistant concealer. It says quick full coverage, and it is a lightweight formula. So it's kind of described in a similar way to the KVD foundation. Here's what the packaging looks like. I have the shade 30NN. It does come with a brush, so I guess I'll try that out too. But I'm just going to apply a little bit under my eyes. Actually, let's do one side first in case it dries down. I'm not used to seeing my skin with such an intense full coverage foundation because I've kind of moved away from them. I mean, I do wear like medium to full coverage foundations, but this one is a very full coverage foundation. Okay, I don't love this brush. I can already tell it's very dense. It's a pretty stiff brush, so I feel like it kind of hurts as you're applying it. And I don't know, I just prefer something a little bit softer and fluffier. But wow, this concealer looks really nice. Again, definitely a full coverage concealer. It blended out really quickly. That's one thing about that brush because it is a little bit larger. I feel like it blended it out in 2 seconds. It's not quite as matte as the foundation. Like it has a little bit more of a natural finish, but that was very fast. I feel like it does have good coverage to it. So I'm kind of curious to use this with a lighter coverage foundation. It might be good for kind of spot concealing in any areas where you do tend to need a little more coverage. I'm just going to apply a little bit right here and a little bit right here. The last Urban Decay concealer I used, I think, is the Stay Naked concealer, which is a little bit more natural on the skin. This one definitely has more coverage, but it's so smooth. It's blending out so easily. I think I'm going to really like this concealer as long as it wears well. Again, these are just my first impressions, but I'll come back and update you on both of these complexion products once I've had the chance to wear them a couple of different ways. I'm going to set that concealer into place with the LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. This is one of my go-tos. This is a little bit of a lighter, softer powder, which I think will be good because I do have more full coverage products on. So I don't want to layer on like a really heavy powder on top. I think this is a really good powder if you're someone who doesn't typically love powder because it definitely sets everything, but again, just gives you like a lighter, softer finish. Okay, so for the brows, I'm going to be using the Uoma by Sharon C One and Done 2-in-1 Brow Styler. I have the shade 05. So I'm just going to run this through my brows and give it a second to dry and then fill them in. I love this brow product so much. This has become like my go-to brow gel, and the brush is just perfect because it allows you to be a little bit more precise as you're combing it through. And I find that it does lift my brows and kind of lock them into place all day. While I wait for the brow gel to dry, I'm just going to finish the eyes. So I'm going to go back into the Into You eyeshadow and just blend this on my lower lash line. I'm going to keep this lower lash line a little bit softer, but I feel like this will just add a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to go in with the light nude eye pencil on the Tarte Duo for the waterline. And then like I said, this eyeliner pencil from Tarte has a really nice, just like lighter nude shade on the other side. So I like to use that on the waterline just to brighten things up. It's really creamy, very smooth. I think they do duos where there's like a brown eyeliner on one side and a black eyeliner on one side, but I love this because it just adds like that pop of brightness. Actually, sometimes I'll take this LA Girl liner. This is their Shockwave liner in the shade Lullaby, which is like a metallic pearl. And I'll just go over that nude liner. I'm not sure you can tell in person, but the reason why I like this one is because it has like a little bit of a glow to it. So it definitely gives you that brightness, but it's not as stark as like a matte liner. Sometimes I feel like, well, overall, I just kind of prefer shimmer anyway, but sometimes I feel like when I'm applying a matte liner on my waterline, it just doesn't look as flattering. Like here's the matte, here's the shimmer. So the shimmer layered on the matte is nice. This is so long wearing, which is why I prefer to go in with this one first, and then this one just adds like a touch of brightness. I'm going to apply a little mascara on the lower lashes and then fill in my brows with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I'll be right back. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in the shade Light, which is one of my favorites. I actually just used this again the other day, but I applied it directly to the brush first, and it was a little bit easier to apply to the skin. Sometimes with stick cream products, I feel like if you draw them directly onto the skin and then try to blend them out, they almost end up staying in the same place where you applied them. So I think applying it directly to the brush first just kind of gives more of a diffused look. It's just a little bit softer, but I love this bronzer. It's an older favorite of mine. Just stays in place really well. I've just been kind of rotating through a lot of my bronzers, a lot of my foundations lately, just kind of trying to enjoy what I have and see what I have, because I do feel like, you know, even though I try and review new makeup on my channel, I definitely have a tendency to sometimes use the same products over and over. So one of my goals this year is just to get like full use out of my makeup collection and make sure products aren't just sitting there. Anyway, I feel like this bronzer just looks so good on the skin, and I've kind of rediscovered my love for it now that I've been been using a different application method. I've been using the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer a lot. I actually have that one here somewhere because I was thinking about using that one, but that one has a very intense dewy finish. And I just feel like with this foundation, maybe more of a matte bronzer, like even though this is a cream, it does have a little bit more of like a matte or natural finish. I thought maybe that would be better. I don't have any powder on this foundation. It's just kind of like set itself, other than like the center of my face and my T-zone where I applied concealer. So for blush, I am going to be using one of the new Into You cream blushes. These are so gorgeous. They're very easy to apply, and they're nice because you can apply them different ways. You can use your finger and tap them in, you can use a sponge, or you can use a brush. There are 3 different shades. I'm trying to decide if I want to go more dramatic or a little bit softer. I do love like this deeper berry, and what's nice about these is they do have more of a sheer finish, but you can build them up. So even though it's pretty deep in the pan, I feel like I can get a little bit of a lighter, softer look, but I also like this shade. This one is 02. I think I might go with 02, just a small amount to kind of brighten up the face. And I'm just going to apply it with a brush, and just lightly tap it on my cheeks. Yeah, I feel like this is the perfect color for the look I have today. This blush has such a pretty finish. It definitely gives your skin like a dewy, glowy effect. So if you do like more of a glowy blush, I think you'll like this, but it doesn't have shimmer in it, which is nice. It just has a really nice creamy texture to it. So it applies very, very easily. I'm just going to kind of focus this on the high points of my cheek. This blush is so pretty because it has like a nice brightening aspect to it. I used to pull my blush up high all the time, and then I feel like I was kind of going through a phase where I was focusing it on like the apples of my cheeks, but there's just something about like a really bright blush that kind of lifts your face. I'm just going to take a little bit of Becca Opal, which is an old school favorite, and just apply this to my inner corner. I'm gonna go fix my hair and then I'll be back to do the lipstick. Okay, I'm back. I did want to mention, while I was in different lighting, I noticed that the foundation isn't looking quite as good as it did when I initially applied it. I feel like it's enhancing texture on my chin, kind of around my cheeks, maybe on my forehead a little bit. I do want to try it out with more of a hydrating primer and then also try applying it with a damp beauty sponge to see if that makes a difference. Anyway, for the lips, I'm going to be using the Into You Espresso Lip Matte and I have the shade 04. I love this. Like I've told you guys a million times, I'm really into matte lips right now, and this texture is so perfect. It's very smooth. It gives your lips like a soft blurred effect, and it stays in place really well. So I'm not going to apply liner just so you can see how this product looks on its own. The nice part is you could go in with like a little bit and I'll just show you, and kind of blend it in for more of like that blotted lip look. So if you want like a softer, more natural look, just apply a small amount and kind of blend it in with your finger. But I want like the true color to show through because I am going for a bold look today. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good without lip liner. I did kind of clean up the edges with a little bit of concealer, but I really wanted to apply the Espresso Lip Matte on its own without lip liners so you can see what it looks like. It has a gorgeous finish. It definitely has like that smooth velvety texture, but it's not dry or uncomfortable. It just looks better than a lot of other like traditional long wearing matte lipsticks. It has like a whipped formula. It gives your lips such a smooth finish, and I love it. It stays in place so well throughout the day. It's not completely transfer proof, so if you are touching your lips, a little bit of color will come off, but it almost stains the lips, so by the end of the day, you still have a lot of color on there. And again, I can actually wear it all day because it's comfortable, so I definitely recommend checking these out. I'll put a link in the description box below to Into You so you can check out the products. I love them. I think you guys will enjoy them so much. But thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Here is the final look. I like how it turned out. I'm kind of into like the softer eyes and the bold lip. I'll definitely update you on the complexion products once I've had the chance to use them a few more times. I'm not sold on the way my skin is looking, but again, this was just the first time I used them. So I want to use them with a couple of other primers and powders and application methods, and I'll definitely keep you up to date. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day if you do celebrate, if you get to do something fun. If not, I hope that you're just enjoying your February, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.